Barbara Kalima-Phiri joins us now. She works for World Vision International, a group focusing on child welfare, among other things. A very good morning to you, Barbara. Thanks again for your time. Now, if you could put together a State of Our Children address, what would it reveal?
Thank you very much for the opportunity, Ayanda, to come in the studio at this very important time of, Child Protection Week. I think we are failing our children. Children are dying before the age of 5. They cannot see their 5th birthday. We are not protecting our children in our homes, in the schools, and even in places where they're supposed to be cared for. So you find that children have become very vulnerable in the last couple of years. There are those children also, for instance, in countries like DRC, where they have to really, take the plight of, bullets flying around and really not enjoying life in its fullness. You have children who are, exposed to child labor as well. Instead of them going to school, you have them really ensuring that they get a livelihood for the family, especially in countries like, Lesotho, Swaziland, and many others where children have become really not, a gift from God, as us Christians would want to perceive it, but a child that is not enjoying a good life. When it comes to issues of policy, for instance, children's voices are getting lower and lower. The spaces for them to be able to raise, and make decisions around things that affect them, is shrinking, by the day. And I think it's becoming increasingly frustrating that you have a lot of governments, particularly within Southern Africa and Africa at wide, who are supposed to be signing, instruments like the CRC, which is the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, and also the African Charter as well, but some of them have not ratified that. So it makes it very difficult to get policy domesticated to ensure that any abuses of children are enforced in the right way.
And when we take a look at the South African context, you see things like child-headed households because of HIV. You see things like rape and abuse of children. So many things happening in South Africa. You've been on the ground for a couple of years now. Do you think the situation in South Africa is getting better or worse when it comes to our children?
I think it's not just a South African phenomenon. Child-headed households are something that now we've kind of gotten used to now. Children, because of HIV and AIDS, like you rightly said, a lot of them are still, particularly those that are lucky could have grandmothers living with them. But we're still having quite a lot of those heading these households.
Let's talk about solutions now. Where do we begin to fix this problem?
Yeah. I think we have to have a multifaceted approach. We can't say, if we fix the policy fraternity, then we're going to deal with everything. We very much believe from World Vision perspective that everything starts from a household, and a household is within a community. And I think it's within those communities that we think children should be loved, taught values to respect others. And it's in those families and communities where we think children need to be protected, particularly from people that we love, who are constantly abusing those children. So we need to start from the home. They say charity begins at home and really not from the church or from the school. So we really urge a lot of guardians, parents to ensure that, the values of children to respect others and also respect themselves are enshrined within those families.
Now, when we take a look at government, I know we often run to government as well, but they have a part to play in this multifaceted approach that you speak of. We have a department that's solely based on that, the Department of Women, Children and People with Disabilities. Do you think government is doing enough to take an active role in making sure that our children are safe and are indeed protected?
I think it's good enough to blame government for not doing their part, but I think the message during this Child Protection Week is that a government, for instance, South Africa is one of the countries that has not ratified, for instance, the protocol on armed conflict. We have Zambia, Zimbabwe, Swaziland that are still haven't ratified as well protocols on child prostitution, child pornography, and child labor. So I think it's important that government as well takes their rightful place to, ensure that mechanisms and legislation are implemented to help, the enforceability of these protocols. Right now, we still have such a challenge. There are some governments as well who are not submitting their progress reports to the African Experts Commission to ensure that we know what exactly is happening on the ground. And I think a lot of governments need to ensure that they present those reports, and children should be involved in ensuring that their voices are actually heard when they're reviewing those protocols.
Barbara, we'll have to leave it there. This is something that we'll look at continuously this week, as it is Child Protection Week. Thanks again for joining us, Barbara Kalima-Phiri from World Vision International.
News that moves. eNCA.com.